Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the Vegas Views. I hope you guys are doing fantastic this afternoon. My name is Dawn Sullivan, talent agent, taking over this show. It was Vegas View, now it's the Vegas Views, and this is Tristan.
Hey guys, I'm Tristan Crowley, and I will be co-hosting with Dawn, and it's pretty exciting actually. I go to DreamTraxx, where she's the talent agent at, and yeah, I aspiring actor and model, and yeah.
Okay, so we are sponsored pretty much 100% by DreamTraxx Academy. If you don't know DreamTraxx, check them out. Go online, go onto our Facebook page, go onto our website. It is an acting, modeling school, but we're an all-around. So we are a full service. We do everything from TV, commercial, film, print, acting, comedy, anything you can think of. Photography, one-stop shop. So with that being said, the next few episodes coming up are going to have a lot to do with the arts, a lot to do with acting and modeling, and we're going to have some really, really great, interesting guests for you guys. So real quick, let's just tell you a little bit about us. I'm from New York City originally. I've been a talent agent for over 20 years. I'll just say 20 plus years. I've worked with, again, actors, models, TV, runway, high fashion runway, all of it, and I bring my expertise now to Las Vegas, which is really cool to work this market. And Tristan is actually an entertainer here as well in Las Vegas. Tristan, you want to tell them a little bit about what you do here in Las Vegas, other than your acting and modeling? We'll get into that good stuff after.
Yes, so I do dabble a little bit in the dancing industry. So I do a little bit of backup for Magic Mike Live, and I serve there mostly, which is cool. It's fun, and yeah, it's more of a performance-based show, and it really, I don't know, really gets the crowd going, honestly.
Okay, so let me ask you. You say like a backup dancer. So do you physically dance?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
That is so cool. I don't know Tristan on that level to physically dance. I know Tristan as a model and as a very serious actor. So to think that he dances is very, very cool. Okay, I've never seen his show. I've never seen that show. I don't think I can go see that show. But, okay, so you dance a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, and so Magic Mike, I saw that recent movie. Have you seen the new movie?
Actually, I haven't.
Okay. Is it true from what you've heard that the recent movie is based on this actual show in Las Vegas that you do?
Yes, no, it is.
I
know that. I know
okay.
the premise of the movie. So yes, it actually is based on the show that is in Las Vegas.
Okay, because when I was watching, I saw it in the movies, and when I saw it, I thought to myself, wow, this is pretty much exactly what I think Magic Mike Las Vegas is just like. So that was pretty cool. So now I kind of saw one end of it, and then you do that end of it, which is cool. So it's not necessarily like a Chippendales at all.
No.
You're pretty much putting on a performance. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you have your, people coming in. You have your guests coming in. You're serving drinks.
Yes.
Okay, so you actually interact with these people.
Yeah, and it's really fun because the whole idea around it, and which they I think they kind of tell it in the movie, I haven't seen it, is that it's more of a woman empowerment. Like everybody should feel loved, and that's the whole goal and environment that we try to bring around.
Actually, it's funny you say that. That was probably my favorite thing about that particular movie. And I've watched all the Magic Mikes, and huge Magic Mike the movie fan. But that's one thing that I really liked, because all of the other ones were pretty much great movies, but they were more like about the men and women just going to see men. And this one was particularly about empowering women and not about you guys.
Exactly.
Which is ultimately about you guys. But, a good-looking guy with his shirt off, that's one thing, but it was about empowering men that in any age group, obviously over 21, right? You're over 21. Anybody there's over 21, you can just express yourself however you want. And it's different these days than it was in the past and how it is in other countries. So I really thought with a lot of the stuff going on with women these days, it was a really cool movie. Really cool. I felt empowered watching it. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. No, it's okay for me to go and see something like this if I choose to, and that's really cool.
Exactly, and it's a really fun vibe and atmosphere, and I think that, if you really do enjoy watching the performances, it'd be a good show to go.
So watch. I have to ask you this, Tristan.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're dancing, are you actually dancing like how they do in the movies? Are you doing that type of?
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it's all choreographed, but
It is. Okay, so
essentially
there's
it is
no
that.
just you want to chair with somebody kind of.
So we do have. There's like a couple parts in the show where you have a little fun and you have a little free for all, but
Okay.
for the most part, it is choreographed.
Okay, so you go in each night, and how many shows do you do?
2 shows a night.
2 shows a night. That's a lot.
It is.
And you model.
5
And
minutes.
you act. And you are amazing. This is, wow, okay. All right, I thought this was kind of like very, very part-time for you, but that's so cool.
It was.
That is so cool.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to full steam ahead with this. So,
Yeah.
But
Do you find that sometimes the talent morphs into something else? Like you started here and you're dancing, and then you've gotten some modeling stuff going, and now you've gotten some acting stuff going.
exactly.
And true, you're also traveling to New York in June
Yes.
for the IMTA. I think we talked about this the last time.
Yeah.
International Model and Talent Association. I am the national director, myself and Natalie Stout. So we direct the show in New York, and you're coming with us.
100%.
That is so exciting to me that you're going to come there.
I'm excited.
So no, you're not going for dancing though, huh?
I don't want to.
Okay.
I want to branch out. I want to show some different things.
Good, I love that. I do. I love that this is what you do, but then you want to go there and show them different parts of you. That's very cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about some of the people that come to see you at Magic Mike. You get men, you get women,
Yes.
obviously. Groups of women, bachelorette parties. Is that a big
birthday,
thing?
Yep, that's like the most consistent.
Guys, if you are having a bachelorette party, if you bunch of guys just want to go see Tristan, Magic Mike, you're in the Sahara, is that
Yes.
right? In the Sahara. I don't know his schedule, but
But yeah, just come around.
yeah.
It's gonna be. We have shows Wednesday through Sunday, 7 to midnight. 2 shows, and yeah, just come around. I mean, you guys might see me. We'll see what happens. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It's a good time.
That's really cool. I love that you do that. Like, I knew that about you, but I didn't dive too deep into that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Tristan and I know each other for a little while now, but I did not know all that. I know that he is a performer on Magic Mike, but I did not know. Okay, so we have some interesting people today, huh?
We do.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
Really excited
I am
about
very
this.
excited. I am very, very excited today. We have Jeremiah, who I've actually been on an interview with once before, so I've learned a little bit about him. We work together as well, and he's with us. So,
Yeah.
Jeremiah, awesome. And I have a lot of questions I want to ask him.
No,
Because
he's a
he
good
is
friend of mine, yeah.
he's a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He's very interesting to me. I find him very, very fascinating. And Jennifer, too. I can't pronounce her last name, though. So she's going to have to...
Gallego. I got
How
you.
do we say it?
Gallego.
Gallego. Okay, so
Yes.
Jennifer Gallego. So when she comes out here, let's make her say it too.
Yes.
Jennifer Gallego, because I messed up.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic, guys. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is go on a break now, and we'll be back in 5.
This show is brought to you by DreamTraxx Academy.
Trying to buy a home these days is tough. We know. We hear it every day. Home inventory is at an all-time low. It's a seller's market, and cash buyers have the advantage. Recently, cash buyers made up more than a quarter of all home purchases. So, how do you compete with cash buyers and win? By becoming a cash buyer yourself. How do you do that? With New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program. Here's how it works. Buyer Accepted LLC, an affiliated company of New American Funding, will buy your new home with cash and sell it back to you for the original purchase price, plus a service fee that can be added to the purchase price of the home once you secure mortgage financing with New American Funding. This turns you into a cash buyer and helps you win the bidding war. And the best part? You don't need to sell your current home first. Don't miss this opportunity to buy your dream home. Call New American Funding today or visit newamericanfunding.com to learn more about becoming a cash buyer and winning the bidding war.
Welcome to social media shows. Have you been watching social media shows recently? Of course you have. We have been live streaming for 4 years across social media platforms. We produce over 70 shows with over 1,000 episodes. In the process, we've helped over 100 creators realize their dreams and start their own show. We give platforms to promote your business. If you are an artist, if you have an event, if you are entrepreneurs, or if you have a story. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on major social media platforms. And if you have a great idea of a show, join us. Social media shows can help you produce and live stream your own show. Let us help you make your dream become a reality.
Welcome back, guys, to Vegas Views. Hope you're all tuning back into us and you didn't leave us for too long. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our guests come out, guys. First, we're going to start with Jeremiah. Jeremiah, can you please join us today?
Jeremiah.
Thank you so much for being here with us
How you
again,
guys doing? How you guys
Jeremiah.
doing today?
Good,
Good.
man.
Good.
Good. I'm glad you can make it.
Of course.
Okay, so our last time up here was fun. They pretty much asked us a bunch of questions, and I spoke a lot, so we didn't give you too much airtime. So that's
Totally
kind
fine.
of my thing, guys.
Totally
Talk
fine.
show, I talk a lot. Okay, so we had some questions for you. So Tristan, start. What do you got from? What are you thinking?
Honestly, so what do you do over at DreamTraxx?
Oh, DreamTraxx. So, so currently I am a teacher at DreamTraxx. I teach the basics for acting. So for any student that comes in and wants to learn how to learn the right way to act, whatever that may be, I teach them the basics so they have a good understanding and they can succeed in that part of the acting. And I also teach basic fight choreography, which is anything stunt related. If you guys watched John Wick 4, you saw all the crazy stunts in that movie. I teach it all. Weapons, guns, fighting, I do it all. And it's been a lot of fun over there since then.
I have a
that's
question
awesome.
for you. That is awesome. I have a question for you. How old were you when you started doing all this fight scene stuff? You were young, huh?
No.
No. Okay. No. Okay.
No. So in college, I went to college at 17,
Okay.
and I decided to go into martial arts, but I didn't discover acting at that time. Right, I went to
Okay.
martial arts for self-defense, teaching myself how to, handle myself in any situation, kind of thing.
Smart.
And yeah, I did that for a while.
Smart.
And then eventually I got out of college and it slowed down a little bit. And then I really started to deep dive into acting when I moved to Vegas.
Okay.
And once I got back to Vegas, I actually this artist.
Interesting.
Thing is to be because when I get a role or whatever it may be, I want to engross myself into that
So
character.
you're very method.
Yes.
You're
So
very method.
I seeked out the best when it came to training on film and whatever that may be. I found them. I trained for like 6 months. Made a really good connection, a really good friend out of those people. And so to answer your question, it's only been about a couple years since I've been
Okay.
training for on-camera fighting because it's so different than just normal, punch a pad or
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Dude,
Well-
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was able to drop in one of your classes once, and I remember, and I kept thinking to myself, I wonder if, and I think I may have asked the question, I wonder if, is it harder to, because he was punching with a, what is that thing called that you use?
It's called Bob.
Bob. Okay.
Bob.
This Bob. So I thought to myself, and I see him going punching, and like within, I mean, it looks real, like he's punching, and then he's training other people to do this, and I'm watching, and I'm thinking to myself, is it harder to be a fighter and actually not hit? Does it like what comes out in you more, the fighter or the actor? So let's say you and I are in something you obviously don't want to and can't hit me.
Absolutely.
So is it harder to stop yourself from that punch, or is it? So that was my thing because I'm watching it. It looks so real to me that it was so easy for you to just stop the punch or go clear past someone's cheek. Me, I think I would have had follow through. Just that,
Oh, sorry.
not trying to beat I'm from New York. I'm not trying to beat everybody up, but you know what
It's
I
a
mean.
natural thing,
It's a
yes.
natural thing to follow through on a punch. So it was very fascinating to me to watch you almost go, and it was like, oh, he missed him by, I mean, this much. It was pretty impressive. So, do you understand my question? Is it
Yes.
harder to be the fighter in that scene or act through it. Do you know
I
what I mean?
understand
Okay.
what you're saying. It's
Yes.
absolutely more difficult to be an actor than an actual fighter. When you're hitting a pad, when you're training for actual fighting, it's much easier. You just learn the technique the correct way,
Right.
and you follow through. When you're doing it on camera, that's what I try to teach the basics for the students there, is all about control. Can you still emulate a very powerful looking punch, kick, weapon, whatever it is, but control yourself? You know, I have a beautiful actress that I'm working with, I cannot hit her.
Yeah.
But I have to make sure that if we are exchanging blows, I have to keep myself from actually hitting her, but making it look like I'm actually hitting her, whatever the sequence calls for, right? So training the actors, and even when I was learning it myself, learning to control and retract and make everything look sharp and clean while still maintaining that image of, wow, that was a really clean punch. I don't know if you guys have seen John Wick 4, but there are people that have mastered that. Keanu Reeves. Donnie Yen is so good at it.
Yeah.
Dude threw a flying kick in the movie, and it was so clean. So clean, but he didn't hit the guy, right?
Yeah.
It was just a nice little bam, looked really clean. He knocked over. That's what the stunt guy does.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a
So
lot of
Jeremiah, can I ask you, do most actors have this or they don't? Is this, I guess my question is this something that when you're a newer actor you want to get right into? Or is this like, okay, this role calls for me to fight? Do most actors have this in their arsenal, I guess is my question.
Absolutely not.
They don't. So is this like a specific thing that you need to go, okay.
Extremely niche based, because acting itself is already difficult.
Yeah.
Right? You're a practitioner, right?
Yes.
Remembering the lines, being in character, having the emotions is hard enough. Now throw a punch in there while you're trying to remember your
Yeah.
lines
And be
everything like
serious
that. And be
in-
good,
in the
and
moment.
it still has to look good and everything like that. It is completely a niche subject, but it's one that absolutely must be trained. Even if you're not going to be an action star, you don't have to be John Wick or the next Jason Statham or even, you know, Sylvester Stallone, whatever you want to do, right? You don't have to be that person. But let's say you're just in a normal movie and you just get into a scuffle. You have to be able to maintain that, whatever the character calls for,
Yeah.
right? If you're the bully, or if you're the victim of the bully, whatever that may be, you've got to maintain that and have that in you to be able to react and sell that, whatever the story calls for.
So now I know from a casting side of it, because I've been casting for years, when we're looking for specific things, it would be, does this person have any fighting experience, or what kind of experience do you have? So when you guys are, you know, building your resumes and putting all this stuff that you're able to do on a resume, it does help a lot. But you do suggest newer people to start getting this under their belt.
Even if it's just the basics of learning how to throw and take a punch on camera, that's
Okay.
all you need. That's all you need, because even the slaps are the same
Like,
way.
yeah.
Right?
Like
Stage
you
slap
said.
is a little different because you actually, in a way, are making contact. But on camera, all the camera angles can hide all that. Right?
Exactly.
You still need to the other person still needs to react in a way that will sell that slap or punch or whatever it is.
And also my biggest concern, I guess, that no one's getting hurt.
Yes,
you know, if we're
absolutely.
casting
That's
people,
why
that's a
control-
liability to
That's
me.
why
You can't
control
get them
is
hurt.
so
Yeah.
important. I would say the hardest people I have to work with are definitely martial artists, because I have to teach them how to be soft when they've been taught how to be like hard.
No,
You know what
yes.
I mean?
Guys, I have something fun for you. Now, Tristan, you've done this before too. You've
Yes.
worked this. Like, I have something fun. Can you guys show me something?
Sure.
Is that okay? Because do I need to? I do not want to get slapped today.
No.
Do I? Okay.
Do you want to hit me?
What?
Is that what you're talking
Yeah, I
about?
want to do.
You
Yeah,
do a
I
fake
want
stunt?
you to physically try to do so. I'm going to move
Okay.
out of the way for
All right.
this. Yeah. Okay,
It's
guys.
this camera
I'm
right
gonna-
here, right? Okay.
Okay,
This is what we're gonna do.
Okay, I'm going to get out of the way for this.
All right.
This is going to be so cool.
All right.
Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. All right, we're going to go over the most basic looking punch. We've got the hook and a reaction to the hook. All right, so I'm going to have you throw a hook on me, and I'm going to react to it. It's going to be extremely, extremely slow. Tristan's going to come right here. You guys are the OTS camera, okay? So you guys are OTS over me, and this is how it stacks. So what's going to happen, he's going to throw a punch from his, actually left side.
Yeah.
He's going to throw a punch from his left side. It's going to come this way. And what I'm going to do to sell it is follow the punch and recoil back to my target, right? When you're in a fight, in a real situation, when you get hit, you always want to maintain eyes on the target. Same thing in fight choreography. That's how you maintain the realism in a fight scene. Because you don't want to just get hit and then you're off, you know, doing something else, or it doesn't look real. You know what I mean? You want to maintain that focus on your target, especially if it's not the KO blow. Anyway, so he's going to throw a nice slow left hook, and I'm going to react to it. Go ahead. He throws a left hook. Boom. I get hit, and I come back to Tristan, bam, and I'm here. One more time, from the left hook, boom, right there. Right? It's all in the recoil, all in the body language, just like with acting, right? It's all in the body language. What's your body selling? So that's a short demonstration, but just a small little
Thank you
hook.
guys
Yeah.
so much. That was so cool. I love that. Okay, that was excellent.
And you could actually learn all of this at DreamTraxx.
All of it. Every single one. The slow, the technique, everything you need to know to perfect it. Be
That's what I
comfortable.
would say, being a one-stop shop. That's getting back to DreamTraxx again. I'm very passionate about DreamTraxx. I love
Yes,
DreamTraxx.
DreamTraxx
But
is amazing.
yeah, but that's another thing, a one-stop shop. I don't know anybody else in Las Vegas offering this. You know, to me, being in the business for so long, I'm older than all these guys, being in for so long, and then learning so much myself about what really goes into training you guys. My end of it was always, you know, casting, finding people, putting them in movies, you know, models, getting, you know, contracts and walking runways. And so this is really cool. This is a great experience for me to actually watch this and to see this happening and to watching you guys grow. It is just amazing to me. Now, what age groups would you work with as far as this?
I've worked as young as 8 all the way up to late 40s, 50s. Anybody can do
Okay,
this.
so a little kid could have just
Yes.
as much control.
Absolutely.
Okay, because that would be a little intimidating to me. Like, I don't want to be Bob, the, you know, if I was a little kid. You know, that's also I might trust a little bit more to. Fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay, and not so bad. I didn't know you
Yeah,
had
look
that
at that
in you
laptop
either,
coming through.
Tristan.
I
That's gonna sell. That's
Yeah.
gonna sell.
See,
So
I've
that's
been
good.
Yeah.
I've been training.
Yeah, see, that's good. There's a lot I don't know about Tristan. I didn't know that his side gig's a dancer. Now he's a fighter. All right.
He's
a little
also
bit of-
left-handed. So.
He's
Left-handed?
left. I know that.
Let's see.
I know you're a lefty. Tristan is a model as well as runway as well and as a print work model. And for IMTA, we do this training. And we found out that Tristan was a lefty because every time the classroom's turning one way, Tristan's going the opposite way. I'm like, why is he going that way? And so then he said, oh, I'm a lefty. And I said, well, then that makes sense. So, yes, Tristan's a lefty. You're a righty, huh?
That's right.
I'm a righty. My brother's a lefty. I get along well with lefties,
Yes.
though. I do.
I just had another question. So how long have you been in the industry?
I declared I wanted to be an actor when I was 20, 27 now.
Okay.
And I would say it didn't really get serious for me until I moved out here. Like, as soon as I came out here, 100% in. I'm full in. Every investment, anything that I need to do to make it, that's what I decided I was going to do.
Yeah.
Because before then, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, and you started all this with DreamTraxx.
Yes.
Like you like doing the whole, like out here and.
Well, I started with, so kind of piggybacking off what you said earlier about what DreamTraxx offers and everything like that. I found DreamTraxx a year ago, about a little over a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Right? And before then, I was trying out different schools and stuff because I was told through peers at the time or people that I met that you need an agent or a manager to get to the next level, right? So when I first got here, I grinded and crunched out as much as I could. Student films, non-paid things, background, whatever I could get my hands on, I was in for a whole year, right? And then a year goes by, I do the training, the 6 months training with the action choreography people, and then I come back to the school that I was in before DreamTraxx, and I ask the owner, the coach there, I'm like, hey man, I'm ready for the next step of my career, what do I need to do? And he told me, you need to get an agent or manager. I'm like, great, how do I do that? Do you have some way I can do that? He said, no, you're gonna have to do it on your own. So as soon as he said that, the next day, I went to DreamTraxx and I spoke to Frank. You guys know Frank? He's
Frank
He's
Perillo.
a cool guy. Right? Yeah, Frank.
He is DreamTraxx.
I spoke to Frank, and you know I'm very serious about this career and this craft. So I went to him and I was like, you know, I think he introduced the class of like, you know, this is where he makes people become working actors. That's what he said, and I hold people to their words. I went to talk to him after class, and I was like, is that true? That's something that you can do? And he was like, you know, how bad do you want it? And I was like, I want it more than anything in the world. Right?
Can I ask you a question with that? Not to cut you off on
Go
that,
ahead.
but how did you know? There's so many. You're so young. You're good looking. There's this whole world ahead of you. How did you know, like, acting? That's it. It's for me. How did you know that?
When I was in college, so it was 2015, I went to go visit my dad who was in LA at the time, and I
Oh.
was there for 6 weeks. And when I was there, I was like, before I went, I researched on what do I need to do, like what's the steps to become an actor, right? They said go on this website, apply for things, da 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 da. I couldn't do that on the East Coast because I lived originally on the East Coast. So I went to LA for 6 weeks and I was like, let me see if I can do something or anything I can get my hands on. And I did, I think, a couple auditions and a short film where they had me in the background dancing. Didn't pay me. Best experience I've ever had.
Okay.
And as soon as there's a feeling that you get, that fire, that passion. As soon as I felt that, I knew this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It was just about figuring out how do I get there, right?
Yeah.
I call
That's
that
amazing.
the bug.
The
I
bug.
have the bug, but on a different way, still in this industry, but I have the bug. Once you get the bug in this industry, I believe whether it's casting, modeling, acting, TV, once you have it, it's like no matter how hard you try to get away, something's going to bring you back to I need to do this because this is where I'm happy.
Yes.
So I can get that. You have that, Tristan.
Yes.
You got
Oh, 100%.
Tristan has that because Tristan wants to do everything. If there's like a
I'm
movie, I'm doing the
curious.
movie. There's a runway, he's walking the runway. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on everything, and it's fun. It's a good time, and like you said, once you start feeling like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it's so hard to explain because, like you said, once you just feel this like sudden rush, and it's like, oh, I did it, it's fun, and then like it's almost like reaching a goal, but then you need more.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like it's super euphoric, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but for me in the industry, I feel like I guess it's like baby accomplishments too. I feel like this industry holds us in, sometimes in a positive and sometimes in a negative, but it holds us in the industry with baby accomplishments. Like you'll do something small and you're like, oh, that was awesome. But then if you epically fail at something else, you're like, and then you'll do something else, and it feeds you. I think this industry feeds you these accomplishments, and I think it takes a personality, a specific personality type that's like almost like we're not gamblers in a way, but like we gamble with our emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're like, oh, I'm going to go into that. Where a normal person would be like, I'm not going to do that. That's just who wants that much rejection. And we're like, no, we'll take it. We're strong enough for rejection.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think, guys, are we ready for our next guest? I think.
Yeah.
We have Jennifer. I'm going to let Jennifer say her last name because I do not want to botch it, and I have so much respect for her. Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Good.
Thank you, Jennifer. I am so sorry. Can you please tell them how to say your last name properly?
The proper way to say is Jennifer Gallego.
See? That's why I
So I
didn't
was a
try.
little off.
You're off. You said go out.
The
all
easiest way to say and the way I tell most people to say is just Gallego.
Gallego.
Okay.
I see. I could do that. Okay.
Makes it much easier.
So Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us today. Another DreamTraxx.
Yeah.
DreamTraxx. You love DreamTraxx.
I love DreamTraxx.
Very
Of course I do.
cool. Tell us a little bit about you. When did you start acting?
I actually started acting at the age of, I'm going to say 22.
Okay.
22, yeah. I came back from my second year of college, and I decided, you know what, let me go back into what I really love. And I've been modeling since the age of 4, so I've always been into that, into the industry. And I always knew I wanted to be a Victoria's Secret model. That was my dream. But growing up, I also was a very, very shy person. I was the one that never spoke when we went out. My friends would always be like, why doesn't she speak? They're like, you just got to let her get comfortable.
Yeah.
So as I got older, I went to Page Parks, and I was like, I want to try modeling, runway. They're like, you're not as tall, but we can try print, or if you want to try acting. So I decided, let me try acting, be a little more versatile. Maybe it'll help me break out of my shell. And once I started taking classes, it did. It helped me break out of my shell.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Houston.
Houston, Texas,
Oh, wow.
originally. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you were a little kid, shy. I cannot believe that
I
because
can't
you're like
imagine
this
that either.
successful.
Crazy.
She's like the successful actress right now who puts herself out everywhere, and you were shy.
Yes.
So you were a shy child model.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But that's the thing. Modeling and acting is what brings me out. That's my go-to. That's my, I guess, gateway. My comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because in real life, I'm a really just kind of
So
person.
do you know, Jennifer, you picked the scariest thing on the planet to be your comfort zone? Because most people, it tries the script, get out there. It's the hardest thing. I love Frank Perillo, our acting coach one of our acting coaches over there at DreamTraxx, says it to everyone in every class. You guys give yourself some credit because you're doing the hardest thing. So to think that your comfort zone is the hardest thing is really awesome, Jen. That's super cool.
Because deep down, I have multiple personalities. I like playing with multiple characters. So it gives me that leeway to, I guess, actually really be me without being judged.
So a total self-expression for you.
pretty
Do you
much.
feel that way, Tristan? You self-expressing?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You always try to use some like personalization into each character because it kind of gives that element of like realism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes it fun.
Tell me about preparation, Jen. How do you prepare for some of these characters?
I do what Frank tells us to do.
Yeah.
I break down the scene,
That's right. Always.
and I make sure I understand my character
Yeah.
before I go out there.
What does that look like? So, for instance, you're a character completely opposite from who you are. I don't act, guys. So mentally, tell me, guys, anybody, how does that work? So they tell me to be someone that's just not like myself. How do I start doing that in my own head? How would I go about that?
What do you guys think? You guys can go ahead first.
I feel like you just gotta play around with it.
Okay.
Just play around with it and see what happens and what goes from there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like you have to make a honestly, from what I've gained and what I've learned from this, you have to do a lot of, or you have to commit. You have to commit to the character, whatever
Okay.
character it is. Commit to it because there's always going to be a redirection,
Okay.
if anything, and I mean, then you just commit to that. So
That's really
I think
helpful. So if it's a
committing-
character that's not anything like myself, and I'm like, whoa, this is so challenging for me, I'm just going to say, I'm committing to this character. I'm going to be this character.
'cause
That is terrifying.
Piggybacking
Okay.
off of that, so how would you commit? For somebody who's like, okay, I'm ready to commit, but you read the paper and you're like, this person's not. Maybe you're playing somebody who's very evil,
Yeah.
right? Very, very just evil
I think I
and
could do
destructive.
evil.
Okay, maybe
I
not
could do evil.
Whatever it is that's for you, right?
I think
So-
too nice I couldn't
okay.
do.
I would think, at least for me, I've been doing the acting for a long time, but I think recently I really started to get a good grasp of the acting. So for me, engrossing yourself into that paper, right? Reading it 100 times,
Okay.
right? Really getting digested into that character, and then from that point, if you are playing a character you don't necessarily like, find the good, find why they're doing and what they think is right. If I'm playing an evil villain, everything that I think I'm doing is the right thing. And that's how I
Okay.
connect to characters that I don't like. Or
So
I
pretty
can't.
much don't judge the character.
Don't judge the character.
Oh,
There
I
you
like
go.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good. That's great advice, guys. Okay,
Good.
don't judge the character, guys. So if you guys are starting in the business and you get a script and you're like, this character's not going to fit, don't let it deter you. Trust in your character. Trust in your process, right? Is that what? Okay, I like that. That's very cool, guys. Thank you. That's cool. Very, very helpful. Jen,
Yeah.
tell us, you just, you're working on a ton of stuff. And also going to New York City, IMTA, International Model and Talent. Jen is actually going modeling and acting, runway, print, all of it, because that little girl did grow up nice and tall. So she is just going to, yes.
That was my one dream.
yes.
I was like, I just want to be 5'8".
So you just finished up a movie, huh?
Yes.
Tell us about that. What does that look like?
So I just finished the movie. It's called Only a Few Fans. It's pretty much based off of me,
Okay.
a housewife, who tries to help her husband with the bills because he lost hours at work.
Okay.
So I make an OnlyFans to bring
Okay.
in some extra income. We're both not really comfortable with it, but I feel like it's the best way to help him out
Okay.
since he won't let me work. So I do that, and I come across a person who decides to pay me a certain amount of money a week to
Okay.
pay their little girlfriend.
Okay.
The person becomes a stalker,
Mm.
ends up finding where I live,
Mm.
ends up finding out that I'm married, and then breaks into my house and we go at it.
What an interesting movie. So did you have to do any...
But don't tell them all because it didn't come out yet. Don't tell them the whole thing.
We
No,
don't
there's
know
not
how it
that
ends.
there.
That's the premise. We don't
That's-
know how it ends, though, right?
We don't know how to. No, the ending is still a surprise because there is a part 2. There will be a part 2.
Oh,
So you don't die in one.
No.
Good. Okay. That's all I want. I'm like, did Jen die in one? That's what I was really.
No.
wanted to
Look,
know.
I'm not even gonna watch it now.
Yes, we are gonna.
No,
watch
no.
it.
I don't die.
Was there a lot of action in that movie when he came into the house and everything?
Yeah.
So you had to do a lot of action kind of...
Yes,
movement
me and
and stuff.
actually, my stalker is Khalil Kane. I don't know if y'all know who that
Yes,
is.
absolutely. Glove came.
Khalil Kane.
So you're working with some big names, Jennifer.
Yeah,
Superstar,
I'm
huh?
trying, I'm trying to make something with my life, y'all.
You already have.
Thank
You already have.
But yeah, so me and Khalil, we practiced a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did throw me into a table, into the wall, and onto the floor.
Okay.
Got him
No.
a couple bruises, but it's okay. You do what you gotta do to make it look real, okay? And then the other big actor in it too is Jamal. Willard.
I know
He
Joel
is
Willard is, yeah.
Biggie on Notorious B.I.G.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And he plays my husband.
That is
so
very, very cool.
it's exciting. It
Yeah.
should be coming out soon on TUBI. Yes.
So that's actually, you know what, not only do I love what you guys do, and I love that you're playing all these different characters, and to see or think of you in that light so weird, because you're not married right now, are you? No. So personally, she's not married. I don't know Jen for as a married girl, and you don't have children, right? No kids. So to think of like a married, and like that whole fans, I can't even imagine that being your truth. So it's so cool to see that. But I like how some of the roles you do work, Jen, are true. Like, that's very realistic to think a girl would go ahead and do that, and her husband may be okay with it to earn extra money, and a stalker would, like, stuff like this really happens.
Yeah.
So I really like the fact that you go ahead and you I feel like a lot of the stuff you do is like for self-awareness too. Like, maybe this isn't the best idea, guys, you know? And I feel like that's really cool. Tell me about that experience and that character. What do you think about what she did, and how dangerous is that truly?
It's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Just to think about, you know, the guy is like a tech person, and he did a security camera. And he was
So the bad guy. The bad guy is a tech guy. Okay.
He's a tech guy. So he got his way into accessing our cameras in the house, and like just to think that people are actually smart enough to do that.
That's crazy.
That
To
is
access
so
our cameras,
scary.
to
Yeah.
access, and just see what you're doing without you even knowing. That's what's the most creepiest thing I could think of about the whole situation.
The movie just sounds so good. Like, I now I'm like, I want to ask more. So, do you know when you're going to start filming too?
No, I'm not sure yet. I know we do have a few more, because I am doing that. The director is Shannon Washington. He is one of his longtime friend.
Excellent.
So anything he has open, he always invites me.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And this was not shot in Las Vegas. You
No,
did
it's shot
this
in Houston, Texas.
in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Back home.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I know he was saying he has about 4 more he wants to do before he gets to the second one.
Okay.
I guess he said it depends on how the first one does.
Okay.
He's going to the second one.
It sounds like it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
You
like
know?
my
That's
type of
exciting.
movie. It
Yeah.
sounds suspenseful.
Like a thriller.
It's
Yeah.
a thriller. The
Okay,
storyline,
see?
even when I read it, I was like, oh, wow. Really? That's what you okay. I was like, yeah, I'm
It
excited.
sounds cool. I just don't want to see you get thrown around. I don't. I like Jennifer. I don't want to see her get hurt. You didn't get hurt at all, though, right?
I had a couple bruises, but it's
Okay,
okay.
nothing
You gotta do what
major.
you gotta do.
Okay.
Commit to the character.
You
Commit to the character.
character.
And
Okay.
another thing about that one I liked a lot was because one thing Frank does tell me is I'm a very, even like my emotional side is what I need to work on.
Okay.
Oh.
So that film gave me, like, I guess, the knowledge or the comfort of getting into the emotional side, because I even had to cry in a scene.
Hold on to that. We're stopping with crying. We're going to take a break real quick. And then, Jen, don't forget crying. I want to hear this.
Yes.
Okay, great.
This show is brought to you by DreamTraxx Academy.
I can already feel you judging me, and not for what I've done in the past, but for what I'm about to do. I had what mattered, and I got careless. Like, I don't deserve more. I don't deserve sympathy. I don't deserve to be here.
Where the hell are you? Why aren't you answering your phone?
Jenna! What is the matter with you?
Someone once told me, you may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you're somebody's shot of whiskey.
Excuse me, ma'am. My car ran out of gas and I left my wallet at home. Could you please spare a couple dollars so I can refuel my vehicle?
I literally have nothing.
What's it gonna take to get you to join the program?
Get back, dog! If Jesus wanted you to have a dog, he would have blessed you with a bowl and a leash now, wouldn't he?
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Thank you guys for staying with us. Okay, welcome back. Jen, we were talking about crying, right? I remember that.
Yes.
Okay, so what were we saying right before that?
The emotions.
Yes, the emotions.
That was always my hardest thing to tap into, is being emotional. I'm such a cold. Not. I guess. No, I am a cold person. I got a cold heart, and I got a wall up. So to hit my emotions, you really have to get in there.
Okay.
And I knew with this character, I had to show those emotions, especially since I found out some information and
no spoilers.
Yeah, that's some information. So I had to sit there and cry. And they're like, if you can make yourself cry, go ahead. If you can't, it's cool. I'm like, no. My goal is I'm going to make myself cry.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They're like, if you need to wait till you're close up, do it. So the whole time I prepared myself mentally, and I just sat there and I thought about a situation that really hurt my feelings. And as it kept building and building, once it got to my close up, the tears just started dropping. And I was just, I'm like, and at the end I was like, I did it. Yes.
I love that.
That's all I wanted to do.
Is that a common thing, guys? So when you're doing a part like Jennifer was talking about, it's sad and you have to cry. Is that kind of really what happens? Are you just in your head about something, or are you can just cry, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't like I just started there.
With
the help of Frank from DreamTraxx, he helped me break down walls similar to Jennifer, where I didn't want to cry in front of people. I didn't realize I had such a shame in front of crying in front of people.
Wow.
But now that I've done it several times, it's much easier now. So it's either from a memory standpoint, I can come from a memory and then just get into the scene.
Yeah.
But honestly, when you're committed to the character, when you're really engrossed into it,
Yeah.
when I look at my partner and it's a sad scene, I'm able to just connect and just start flowing.
Yeah.
For me.
Because it's real.
Yes.
It's real, right?
Right.
It's the
And
truth.
I'm at that level right now because I've broken down those walls to the point where it's comfortable for me to be like, it's okay.
Because it's the truth. So when you're in your character, you really feel like that's your truth.
It's reality. There's nothing else that is more real than you and your co-star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in there. It's not you that's your character, but you're feeling the emotions of, wow, that's interesting. I have a psychological background, and to think you're almost feeling empathy for something that truly doesn't exist is fascinating to me. You're feeling empathy for something that's not really real. Huh? Interesting. Wow. So tell me about that. I mean, what does that look like for you? You're in a scene. Let's say you're getting your heart broken in this scene, or something horrific happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's not happening to Jeremiah, but that part of you, do you actually feel that feeling of like, right now, this woman is leaving me, or something happened to my children? You feel those feelings?
Absolutely. I let myself be vulnerable and allow, like, let's say me and Jennifer are doing the scene, and this is the love of my life, and she's breaking my heart. I would allow myself to just fall in love with her and then feel that pain as she's basically breaking my heart, because the good thing that one of the other teachers from DreamTraxx, Michael Kearney, talks about is when you're in a conversation, right, is to register emotions as you're having conversations, because you can use that in your acting. Most of us here probably experience heartbreak, right? Register that and then keep it for later, so you can use that for later.
So in a way,
mental notes, essentially.
Mental notes. Okay, so are you telling me, so some of the negative things that have happened to us, you actors kind of pocket them? Like, I'm going to stick this here, and I'll pull this when I need this.
Yeah.
Guys, I have so much respect for you. I've been in the business for so long, and I've always just said, like, that person's a great actor, this person's marketable. And from a casting point of view, it's really about marketability and, your craft. But I knew a lot went into it, but not this much. I have to be honest. I didn't realize you guys are almost toying with your psychological well-being for this. I didn't know it was like that. So I had to just say I have so much respect for you guys. You do the hard jobs. I could not act, so I'm cool with being me. Anything outside of me confuses me, so I'm good. But I think you guys are really absolutely amazing for that. So the emotions and the feelings and all this stuff, you have a script, and sometimes that script doesn't necessarily, because I've read a lot of scripts before, that script doesn't necessarily tell you an actual breakdown of your character. You kind of have to figure out who that person is, huh?
Yes.
And that's where we go to the basic scene study that Fern tells us at DreamTraxx.
Tell me that scene study. So what is scene study like, Jennifer?
Pretty much you're breaking down the scene, you read it over 3, 4, 5
Okay.
times. Make sure you understand it in a third person perspective.
Okay.
And then you just go and break.
So you're saying third person perspective. So you're allowed to be you reading it. You're really checking out, diving into it, seeing what it is, and then you form the character off of that.
You form a summary of the story.
Okay.
So that we have an understanding of the story. And then you go into breaking down the character.
Okay.
And seeing what their motivations are, and their character types, and why, what caused them, like what's their underlying feeling that caused them to do this.
Okay. So it is so psychological what you guys do, because you are not only, it sounds like over-analyzing and dissecting a character, then you're having to flip it to use it within yourself and then depict it the way that the story is telling you or the script is telling you to depict it.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating to me. That is really cool.
that's a
Guys,
little
these
crazy
do the
to
hard
do.
stuff. Does it sound crazy?
A little bit. Just a little
Does
bit.
it sound a little crazy? I mean, that's the way it
But
works.
the method, yes. That's
From
essentially what it is.
From a non-actor, that's kind of how it worked in my head. So you guys have your own lingo. But you did say something before and then mentioned it again. Method. You said to him, method acting, and I wanted to stop you.
Okay.
Tell me, what is this? Method acting.
So, let's say there's a few scenarios. Like, actually, a really cool one. Probably about a month and a half ago, Jake Gyllenhaal is doing the new Roadhouse.
Okay.
And he used a method of using a real, like, event. So the UFC fights, he was in it
Okay.
and did his filming for it at the actual event, like in the octagon during like a break between the prelims and the main fight. And so that's like a method, because you're essentially like in this huge, like colossal moment.
Yeah.
With with your co-star.
That's
fighting.
pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and so there's different types of methods. There's that. There's also methods like I would say like a Heath Ledger did, where he wouldn't see any of his co-stars or Bill Skarsgård, like for it. They didn't
And
see
what
any
was
of
the
the
what was the
co-stars.
reason for not seeing the co-stars?
They had this for them. I mean, what I would think is, I mean, I don't know exactly from their personal point of view, but it gave them this sense of like they don't know the other characters, and they have this sense of like loneliness, and they can like feed off of themselves.
Okay.
And
It's
a little
especially
crazy,
for that
but
character.
yeah, for
I
Joker
can see that
or
for
for
the Joker.
It.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For those characters, I can absolutely see that.
So anytime you see your co-stars is on set, and instead of like seeing them in your trailer, like you only see them right when they say action. So if you think about
That's
it, it's
actually pretty cool.
crazy because you know a lot of times you're interacting with like your other like everybody you work with and stuff, and instead of just going straight in and running.
That's
down.
another question I have. I wanted, guys, I've wondered about so many of these things, so I'm so glad I have you all here. This is so cool, and I'm gathering so much information from you guys. What is it like if you're working with someone that's not on your level? So, for instance, you're an established actor. All three of you guys have been in a ton of stuff. You're established actors. You're working with a newbie, brand new, who's not on your level. Jennifer, what does that look like for you?
I would never judge because I feel like we've all been there.
Sure.
But it's difficult.
It is.
It is difficult because you, as an actor or actress, you can feel it. You can feel the connection out there. You could just feel they're still trying to work on it. I don't know how to explain it. I know y'all understand. It's a feeling that you just feel you're like.
So if we were to say, okay, let's put you in a scene with Jeremiah. Well, one, you guys know each other. I'm sure you've worked together before, so you would kind of snap right into it and be able to pick it up because you both have so much experience. But a brand new person would not connect with you guys.
Not that the person wouldn't connect, but you could. I just feel like you could feel that separation.
Okay.
Okay. You have to find a way to help each other connect, or even try to whatever you're doing, help them out in a way so they can respond to it. So that way y'all can kind of be on the same frequency, on the same vibe.
Yes.
You know, it's like you always gotta give them a step or a little push.
See, this is how I know you're such professional actors, because you guys, I've said it before, it's never about just what you guys are doing. It's about the scene and the partnership, and that is awesome. Okay, guys, so With all that being said, thank you guys so much because I've learned so much today. Let's give out some Insta hooks right now. Dawn Sullivan _ modeling, especially acting as well. We do agency work, so I am not an actress. Please hit me up, Dawn Sullivan _
Cool. Tristan Crowley with an A, no E or I. Yes.
All right, and on Instagram, Brannan19. Brannan is spelled Brannan. If you guys are interested in coming to DreamTraxx or just want to take one of the free classes, because we offer a free class for anyone that's interested in learning the scene study as we've all been talking about, just hit me up on Instagram or call the number on the screen or reach out to DreamTraxxAcademy.com and they'll get to you.
And one more thing, guys. Our International Model and Talent Association are over, but I am doing one-on-ones. If you are fairly new to the industry, if you have some experience or you really think you have what it takes, please get in touch with us so we can go ahead and do maybe a one-on-one and see if we can get you on our group. We are leaving on June 24th. We are arriving back home to Las Vegas, and June 30th is going to be an amazing time. We're all in training for it now. It is awesome. We have just such an epic group. Our group is like, we have a hype group. That's what we call it. We have a hype group. And Jennifer, tell us your information, where we can see your new upcoming movie, where we can go ahead and get in touch with you. If anybody wants to follow you, tell us everything.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram. It's foreign _ Colombiana. It's COLOMBIANA. And
can you repeat that one more time?
Yes.
Someone's probably like, I want to get in touch with this girl, and it's going to be impossible.
It's foreign _ COLOMBIANA. You can message me on there if you want more information. I also do have a trailer on there for my up and coming movie too.
And what is the name of the movie again? Tell me.
Only a Few Fans.
Only a Few Fans, guys. Look out for Only a Few Fans. When that comes out, you need to watch it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Guys, always stay with us. See you next week. And we have so many great things coming up. Thank you so much.